Welcome to the Samuel Leeds Podcast. My name is Amelia, I'm part of the marketing team, and in this episode we'll be talking entrepreneurship. Is it for everyone? Is it a skill that can be learned? And how Samuel mastered the art. Hello, how are you?
I'm awesome, Amelia. I love talking with you.
How has your day been? What have you been up to?
You know what? I've actually had a pretty chilled day. So I've been at a play centre with my wife and kids, hanging out, drinking coffee, eating chocolate.
Chilling? Is that your normal day?
Well, I don't really have a normal day. I think, especially when it comes to seeing my family and hanging with the kids and stuff. I know a lot of people have, a lot of my friends, entrepreneur friends, have set time for that. So, on a Saturday, that's family day, or this time to this time, or on a Wednesday. But for me, it's just spontaneous as and when it happens, which it happens quite a lot.
Yeah. So what does like a day-to-day look like for you in terms of, you don't have routine, but do you work a lot? Do you work weekends? Are you?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I don't have routine. I do have certain set things that I do every day. Like, but generally speaking, every day is really different. And I could be viewing houses. I could be on the phone. I could be doing training programs. I could be in the office, meeting with staff, directors meeting with accountants, solicitors, lawyers, brokers. It's just super varied, but always focused on, on growing the business, on growing myself, on helping people with their property journey. So it's kind of focused, but just very varied. Yeah.
Has it changed a lot over the past 3-4 years that you've been doing training?
I think, as I've done more training. So I ran my first training program in November 2014, and that was like almost a bit of I thought it was going to be a one-off. Now I do quite a bit of training.
Just a bit.
A lot of speaking, traveling. So and now I've got a lot, the business has a lot more staff. So it's quite different than it was 4 years ago. Just ever evolving, yeah.
Yeah. And because obviously, Russell's the CEO of the company now. Did you find that how did you find that experience of putting your brother as CEO? Did you want to hold on to the title of CEO, or what was what?
I am so unbothered by titles.
Yeah, you delegate a lot, which is good.
Yeah, but a title doesn't mean anything. You can have and I think part of going to Bible college and being, training within the church background, there was a lot of people that were aspiring to be a pastor or aspiring to be an elder or, a position within the church. And it's the same within companies. People, I want to be a manager, I want to have a director. If you want a title, just act like it anyway. So if you want, you just act like it anyway, and the title comes. So I'm really not bothered about titles. I'm more bothered about just inspiring my team, inspiring people, leading from, and I hope this is the case. I don't think it's always the case, but I try and lead from example, and I'll say to my staff, and hopefully you'll concur as a member of the team, but how can I help you? Yeah. So rather than just sort of seeing people as, oh, you work for me. Actually, no, I work for my staff. And my job is to make their lives as easy as possible, to train them, to inspire them, to equip them. So no, it wasn't difficult giving away the CEO title. But even part of the business, like my brother Russell, he's a business partner. Yeah. Because I'd rather have 50% of something much bigger and impact way more people than 100% of something smaller and impact less people. So again, it's not about titles. It's not about being the boss or the owner. It's just about impact for me. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. And you're quite big on everyone being intrapreneurial.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're quite big on everyone kind of in the company innovating and stuff like that. Is that something you kind of look for in people, that they're kind of innovating within and making the company their own sort of thing?
Yeah, so basically, definition of an entrepreneur, according to Samuel Leeds, is, I don't know if it's a term that's used a lot, but is an entrepreneur, but from within a company. So most entrepreneurs fail. Statistically, 80% of businesses fail. And of the 20% that apparently succeed, they don't succeed because most of them don't make any money anyway. They just don't get closed down. So to be an entrepreneur is lonely, is risky, is hard, is high pressure. So what I'm looking for is to find people who are natural born entrepreneurs, leaders, innovators, inspirers, and then have them within inside the company. So they become intrapreneurs. And they bring their skill set, their creativity, their passion, their drive, their ambition inside. So I don't even see the people within my company as people like employees.
Yeah.
Or even people with jobs. They're entrepreneurs that are part of the mission. And I think that's the way it is. I think that's the way that people see it. And if someone within the company doesn't like, if someone sees it as a job and doesn't like it, we'll just ask them to leave. We'll just be like, look, man, well, what will you enjoy? And I think that's why we even switch people over from customer service to training advisors, to this, to that, because we want people to be operating within their values, doing what they love. You know, so yeah, that's something I'm, as a business owner and as a leader, and I'm really, really passionate about. Yeah.
So when you're kind of looking for people, what would you say the characteristics are of an entrepreneur? Like, what is it that you're kind of looking for?
Someone that's a problem solver.
Okay.
So anyone that's solving problems is really an entrepreneur, because most people either avoid problems or find problems. You know, they'll focus in on the problem. Whereas I want to be someone and surrounded by people who are, instead of doing that, who are constantly finding solutions. Oh, there's a problem here. We've got this issue. You know, we haven't got a big enough venue, or this property, we can't get planning permission for this property. Okay, how can we get around this? Who can we speak to? I think that's the definition of an entrepreneur.
So what do you think the characteristics are? Like, what are you looking for when you're going to employ someone? What are the entrepreneurial characteristics that you're looking for?
I think attitude is more important than skill. So if someone's got really good skills, but they've got not a great attitude, they don't love the company, they don't love what they're doing, then in my opinion, in my book, that would not be someone that I would want to hire. If they've got a great attitude and they're coachable and they've got good energy about them, and their skills are average, but with potential to be good, then I'd much rather hire that person. So I think it's just people that actually are passionate, have good energy, have a good attitude, and are competent people, of course. You know, they're coachable. They can. I'd much rather that than take someone who's like good but arrogant, or you know. So I just think attitude is always more important than skill. Yeah,
because we're quite a different company. Like, even in the mornings, we'll be there dancing. We're very different, and like sharing like what successes from the day before.
Correct. And that's how. And even at our events, at our training events, we dance. And people say, "Why do you dance? That's so stupid." Well, look at the results we get. You know, look at the results we get. Because if you spend 2 minutes in the morning just having a stretch, having a dance, or moving the body around, then your brain's more active. So, you know, we don't do anything without studying it and doing it for a reason. But yeah, we do dance. And again, if people are like rolling their eyes, and this never happens. But if we had staff that were like, "Oh, this is stupid. I don't want to dance. Or I don't want to stretch," then, you know, it's just have some fun. Big energy means big results. Yeah, and have fun while you're working and enjoy what you're doing. Because I know I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I'll be damned if I know that people are working within the company and they're hating it. You know, so there's no perfect business, there's no perfect system, there's no perfect company. We're certainly not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect, but that's certainly what I believe, for sure. And in terms of like entrepreneurial like qualities and being like an entrepreneur at work, what do you think it is that makes somebody, what characteristics make someone entrepreneurial? Entrepreneurial, someone that's not thinking like a 9-to-5er. If you're watching the clock thinking at 5 o'clock I'm out of here, that's not an entrepreneur. That's not an intrapreneur. That's an employee mindset. Whereas if you're thinking, I don't work 9 to 5, I work start to finish. I'm thinking about the results, I'm thinking about the tasks, and I'm owning it. I think that's what an entrepreneur is. And you know, we talked about this in entrepreneur, meaning someone who is entrepreneurial, like a problem solver, but working from within an organization. So yeah, I mean, there's just some of the things we look for. So do you think that anybody can be an entrepreneur? Like, do you think it's something that you can develop? No, I don't think anyone can be an entrepreneur. And it depends what you mean by an entrepreneur. Like, well, what do you think? What do you believe an entrepreneur is? An entrepreneur is someone that takes risks in the hope to make money. An entrepreneur is someone who is a creative, risk-taking, go-getting person. That in the hope to help people to make money. I mean, can anyone be an entrepreneur? I guess it depends on what level. Like, statistically, most business people fail. You know, so I guess it's difficult. I guess anyone can try and be an entrepreneur. Can anyone be successful? I guess without the correct training, without the support, without the desire, without the imprinted natural burning desire to do it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm born to be an entrepreneur. I'm born to be a business person.
Yeah.
Whether I believe that anyone can be financially free. Now, financially free meaning that you've got some form of passive income covering your outgoings, your bills. Meaning work is a choice. I believe that anyone can do that because you can do that by working really hard at a job, saving up, learning to invest that money over a period of time. Anyone can do that. But whether you can run a company and be in the media and have staff and deal with that and cope with that pressure, I don't think it's for everybody.
So do you see it more as like an innate, you're kind of drawn to be an entrepreneur? Like you think you were always going to be an entrepreneur?
Probably, yeah. I mean, everybody is born with a desire to do something. Some people are born with a desire to want to be dancers or singers or performers or investors, or I was born with a desire to run a business and help people. And when I say help people, it's because some people think that that's like almost like, oh, but I run a business and make lots of money, but I do help people too, as if the two are contrary. But actually, if you're running a successful business, by definition, you're helping a lot of people. Yeah. Because like Albert Einstein says, don't try and be successful, try and be valuable. The only way you'll become successful is by being valuable. Okay. So you've gotta think as an entrepreneur, how can I help people? How can I solve problems? How can I add value to people? How can I find ways to give people what they want? And then in doing that, then you create a product or service around that. So I think that's why I talk about helping people, because it's not about, as a businessman, I'm not constantly looking at my bank balance, constantly trying to get more money, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to help more people. I'm trying to find more people that need to sell their houses because they're in a pickle, and then I'm going to solve that problem, and then I'm going to turn it into luxury accommodation. I'm going to find a tenant that loves to live there. My tenant is my customer. When I'm training people, I'm not trying to how much money can I get from my mentees? No, I'm trying to think, how many people can I help become financially free as well? Because I know that the more, ultimately, with every avenue of business, the more people you're helping is the more people will then want to do business with you, and the bigger your business will grow. Yeah,
definitely. So would you say, for example, Luke, your little boy, do you think you could potentially make him into, like, say now if you were going to be like, I'm going to make him the most successful entrepreneur in the world. Yeah. Do you think that is something you can kind of help towards, or do you think it is like completely innate? If he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it, and that'd be the end of it, sort of thing?
I think I could teach him to be a fantastic investor. He knows all the ins and outs of investments, and he can make a shrewd decision. I think I can help make him a world-class chess player or badminton player. Yeah. An entrepreneur, there's so many aspects to it. To run a large business, I think for him to do that, he needs to have the fire to want to do that and the desire. So I don't think I could now. I think if I said, right, Luke's going to be a really successful entrepreneur and make loads and loads of money, I don't think that's within my control or power. I think that's down to him.
Could you not see yourself doing anything else at all?
Anything else?
In terms of not a businessman, not an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I could. I fancy myself. Here's my deep dark secret.
As a rapper?
No. Although I have rapped in the past. Have you heard my raps? Yeah. Do you like them?
You've rapped for me.
No, I haven't. I haven't rapped for you. Okay. I like to rap. Oh, okay. I really see myself doing movies. Okay. I'd love to do movies. Yeah. So, and again, nothing to do with like business or I just really enjoy it, and I love watching movies, and I just really enjoy a good movie and someone who's acted a part well.
As in you're an actor in it. You're a producer, actor.
Cool. Maybe even part of the production. The screenwriting.
Creative director.
Yeah, I love it because I think it fits with part of the. It wouldn't be a boring movie. It wouldn't be a movie that was around like something. It would be a movie that would had to inspire, or it kind of fits with. The reason I put out YouTube videos and this podcast is ultimately to not only educate people, but also to inspire them. Yeah. And I think music and movies and arts generally, it can be a way to really, and I know I've been really inspired and impacted and helped by music and movies, and that's something that I would like to be part of. But whether I have the skills or the opportunities, we'll see.
Yeah, you can be part of the marketing team if you want.
Well, part of the marketing team. Yeah. I guess I kind of am part of the marketing team, but
that's cool. So you kind of don't think it's an innate thing, but in terms of letting people get to that point in their life where they're being the most successful they can at what they have the desire to do.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of tips that you would give people? Like, what advice would you give to someone if they were just wanting to be successful in what they do? Okay,
firstly, I just want to say there's a big difference between what I'm talking about being like an entrepreneur. I'm talking about someone that wants to go and make millions of pounds, have loads of staff, run a really big enterprise. That's kind of what I'm talking about when I'm saying you've got to have a deep burning desire, because there's going to be a lot of crap you're going to have to go through to get to that. So that's one thing. Another thing is just having a side business, or getting some properties, or getting some, saving up money properly, or doing some joint ventures and getting some properties, or getting a couple of rent-to-rent deals to give you some freedom in your life, extra time. That is a different thing. Yeah. And that's more, I think, what I teach, certainly in the early days. And then people that become financially free, some of them have got the desire and the burn. And then I'll be like, hey, you need a mission. You need something that grips you. But I think that's a different thing. So what advice would I give? I think, firstly, it's a case of, to be a very serious entrepreneur, you've got to have the fire in your belly. You've got to have the burn. Some people have the fire in the belly, they have the burn, but then people dampen it, and because of fear and lack of support and lack of training, it doesn't come to anything. Yeah. And then these people then are on their, in their retirement saying, I wish I'd done this. I could have done this. I had the capability to do this. Yeah, but you didn't, because you chickened out. So what I'd say is, if you've got the fire, then just do it and get the support and take the risk. If you haven't got the fire and you don't want to do it, then that's fine. If you're happy to just make $2,000 a month, even if it's passive income, and I say this to some of my students, sometimes people will build up $2,000 or $3,000 a month passive income. Passive meaning not from a job, they don't have to work anymore. And then they're like, I'm just going to stay at home now and do a bit of traveling. I'm like, listen, if you want to do that, that's totally cool. That's fine. Life is choices. But for me, I wouldn't be satisfied with that. So I just think, figure out what you want. Dream really big. Be unashamed of how outlandish the goals are, because most people's problems is not that they hit there's a saying, I can't remember who said it, but someone said, it's not that people's problems is not that their goal is too high and they miss it, it's that it's too low and they hit it. Yeah. So make your goal the thing that's in your heart and burning in your soul, write it down, and then go to town and make it happen. Yeah, and whether that's working within a company, whether that's doing your own thing, whether that's doing something that's not business related at all, whether that's being a Hollywood movie actor, whether that's being a politician, whether that's being a teacher, whether that's being a missionary, whatever. Yeah, just go and do it, make it happen. Golden advice. Do you think that at the minute, because there is a lot of people these days that want to have their own businesses, even if it's just like a side hustle. Yeah. Do you think entrepreneurship is something that's become trendy and a bit kind of glamorized? I don't know about glamorized. I definitely think that it's kind of in and it's kind of trendy. But if you see it as a side hustle, if you think, I'm just going to have a little bit of a go on the side and do a bit, I mean, depending on what it is, you might end up, if you're doing it because it's cool, it's cool, and I watched a few Gary Vaynerchuk videos, then you're gonna, if you do it as a side hustle, you're gonna get side hustle results. Yeah. So ultimately, you just got to decide what you want and make it happen. Yeah. And in terms of like the future of entrepreneurship, do you think that it's going to increasingly become something that we're seeing people opening businesses? Have to, because jobs are becoming less and less certain and harder to get. Yeah. Really hard to get. So, and especially if you're a bit older, like if you're 30, 40s, if you're in your 20s, it's not so bad. If you're in your 40s or 50s, getting a job is near impossible for some people. So I think that as jobs become systemized, so there's a lot of, like, for instance, everything's becoming all systemized. Like you go to Sainsbury's now and you don't need a cashier. Yeah. Right. So as what's happening is more and more people are losing their jobs. But then I tell you what's happening though is innovators are having to create the systems. So someone's making money. Yeah. The cashier's not, but someone's making money somewhere. Who is it? Well, it's the person that's being innovative, that's coming up with these systems. And so I think entrepreneurship is going to become more and more of a thing. I think as people get less and less satisfied with jobs, I think people are going to be forced into entrepreneurship, and it's going to, 100%. Yeah. Do you think that's going to get the skills?
Yeah, true.
And there's no training for it really. It's hard. You can't learn to be an entrepreneur at university. You can get business. You can go and get business. Business qualifications. But I've done this sort of stuff. I got MVQ level 3 business studies, and then I went on Jim Rohn says self-education will make you a fortune, but formal education will make you a living. So, I mean, I'm not meaning to bash anything, but a lot of these accredited business schools are taught by people who've never run a business.
Yeah.
Or
I found that.
failed. You found that?
Yeah.
Did you study business?
Yeah, no, I did digital media at uni, and then I did a entrepreneurship module, do you call it?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was taught by someone who had never had a business. She was probably about 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Right.
Honestly, couldn't believe it.
I mean, yeah, I've had people who've come through marketing jobs and they've got first honours degrees in marketing, spent 5 years studying marketing, spent £50,000 in student debt to do marketing. Insane. They come for an interview and they haven't got the first clue about marketing. They don't know what a CRM system is. They don't know how to run a Facebook ad. All the basic stuff that businesses need, the basics of marketing, they ain't got a clue.
Yeah.
They know all about this pompous stuff, but stuff that I certainly don't know anything about. But the stuff that I need and most medium, small businesses need, they don't know anything about.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering what they even teach.
Yeah.
I might go to university to study marketing just to find out what they teach for a laugh.
Samuel Leeds goes back to uni.
Maybe.
Sounds
I did
like
it
a
before.
good video.
I did it before. I went to Bible college after I became financially free, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm not bashing uni, okay?
Yeah.
And people get sometimes I put posts up on Instagram or whatever, and I've mentioned about how uni can be misleading and stuff like that, and people go crazy.
Yeah.
And I think the reason people get so offended is because them or their children have invested so much time, resources, and money into it. They're almost sensitive, and they're like, "Don't bash that. I spent a long time. Don't take this away from me." But I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to speak truth, and the truth is that unless you're going to university because you need to get a particular qualification or skill set that's going to give you the life job, dream, or whatever you want, if you go just because, oh, well, that's what you do, isn't it? You go to university. If you go to study art just because, oh, I quite like art, but you've got no reason or whatever, it's probably going to be a very big waste of time, money, and energy.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I went for 4 years.
Right.
4 years.
And what do you think? You told me you think it's a scam. Yeah,
I just think it's hard because uni's always more than just in the classroom. It's like the people that you're meeting. Like, for example, I went on a study abroad to Australia. So obviously I got that opportunity that I wouldn't probably have. And there's a lot to uni, but knowing what I know now, would I still go to uni? I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
You definitely wouldn't?
It's hard because I came from a village. So for me, it was quite a big eye-opener meeting people from all around the world at uni.
Yeah.
And I know I could have done that if I'd have just, like, for example, moved to London or moved to a big city. But I think it was a stepping stone. Yeah. I do think it was a stepping stone, but I've learned more. Did the degree help you? No. Would you have learnt more spending 3 days with me? Yeah. Right. Literally. Probably about marketing, probably would have. Yeah. I'm not saying about life or about. I'm sure you learn loads of things over the 4 years. I'm not trying to be like, dismissive of the 4 years, but like actually what you learn in terms of hands-on stuff. I can teach you that in a day. Yeah. That's the pro of working for a company that's kind of still like at a small scale in some degree. And like, everyone just pitches in. And like even yesterday when we were having like a meeting with you and going through marketing. I love that. And I mean, hopefully as well, I was talking earlier about how, how we are as a company and how I lead and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Is it true? Does it ring? Does it ring true? Yeah. 100%. I hope you still feel that way in 6 months. We'll see. We'll see. Do you think that in the future there'll be more ways that like people won't go down the modern education route? People will look for more things like, for example, the training that you offer and, training for other things that they want to get involved in rather than going down the traditional modern university. I don't know for sure, but I think that now we've got social media and everything's in the light. Yeah. Right. So back in the day, nothing's in the light. But I think that university is failing so many people and as more and more people see that. Yeah. And they finish uni and then they can't get a job. But they were led to believe that it'll be easy to get a job with that art degree.
But now it's like, ooh, actually we can't. And I still think the old mindset of, oh, well, it's people say to me, my sister-in-law, okay, she, I've managed to persuade her to sign up for some of our advanced training. And she's coming on it. But the day of our training, she's got an exam at uni. And she's like, and she's trying to work out what to do. I'm like, don't even take the exam. Forget it. Because she knows, okay, she's almost finished her uni now. She's like 6 months off. But she knows that the thing that she's studying, she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to get a job. She wants to finish uni and then she wants to go become a property entrepreneur. Okay? So she 100% does not want to get a job. She does not want to get a job in the thing that she's studying either. So I'm like, what's the point of finishing?
Yeah.
What's the point? Oh, because it's like a safety option. It's like a good plan B. It's solid.
Safety
but for me, I just think, I don't see it that way. So everyone's different. There's no right or wrong. But I do think that probably in 20 years' time, and I just read this morning that 2/3 of students that get student debt never pay it back. Die with the debt. 2/3.
Yeah. Because they never earn enough money to pay it back.
Right. But that just shows that the system is so flawed to me. I know it's complex.
Yeah.
I know it's complex, but and there's no right or wrong, but for me, I think that it will become less popular.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just a done thing. In people's minds, it's get good grades, then go to university, then get a good job for life, and then save up money, and then put that money in the bank, and then buy a house when you're in your 40s, and then retire and live well. That's the old school way of thinking, and I personally think it's completely, fundamentally flawed. Yeah. Because there's no such thing as a good job for life. It just isn't. So if you just go and get, it's not safe.
Yeah.
The average person has 21 jobs. Now I'm trying to make that different. I think it's different in our company. Yeah. But the average person has 21 jobs from the ages between 20 and 35. 21 jobs. A uni doesn't even guarantee a job. There's so many people that finish university and can't get a job. So I just think the statistics speak for themselves.
Yeah, it is so true. Even some of my friends, they might have gone to uni and done English or history, and when they come out, and then people will be like, oh, you went to uni and did media, which I still wish I kind of didn't do, but then they'll come out of uni and they'll want to go into a media job, and I'm like, so why did you spend 3 years doing English, for example?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, well, it's just a done thing, that's what my mum and dad said.
Right.
And it's just crazy that people are still doing it.
I studied for 3 years. I studied history. Great.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't help you in our business.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to be a historian, I don't know, some TV presenter talking about history.
Yeah. I think it helps though because a lot of employers still have the old mindset. Yes. Maybe because some of the CEOs and people in the world are slightly older.
Yeah.
But I think with a lot of new entrepreneurs and people like you that are slightly younger, you're employing on a different basis.
Totally different basis.
You don't care if someone's got a degree.
That's becoming more and more common.
Yeah.
Less and less employers give a rip about university qualifications and degrees. They don't care. So what people care about is what value can you bring to my company. That's why people that are hating on, there'll be people that are hating on this podcast. They'll be like, oh my gosh, how dare you slam university? You don't know what you're talking about. It's really important. Listen, I'm an employer. Yeah. And I know a lot of employers. Big businesses, small businesses, medium businesses. And I'm telling you this, less and less people, employers, give a rip about your university qualifications. What they care about is, and it all comes down to this, which is value.
Yeah.
How much value can you bring to our company and to our customers? If you can just say, if you spent 4 years instead of at university thinking I want to be more valuable, how can I become? What skills do I need to be valuable in the marketplace, and how can I go get those skills? You're gonna be much richer.
Definitely. If you could go back 10 years, what would you tell yourself?
I'd do what I did.
Really? You'd still do exactly what you did and go to
pretty
Bible
much
college,
exactly what Bible college was kind of just from a position of I can. Right, because when I went to Bible college, I was 20 years old. Mm-hmm. I had a handful of properties, a little portfolio that was giving me a full-time income. So I had the choice to go, and it was more of a personal thing. Yeah, I didn't do it for business reasons. But if I was going back 10 years, I did the same thing. I mean, 10 years ago was just before I was 18, 10 years ago. I would just invest in myself. Mm-hmm. I would become valuable. I would work for free. Yeah, for people like landlords and agents and investors to get the information. I would get good. I would get good at sales. I would get good at investments. I would understand money. Because people, I want to go to university. Why? To get a job. Why? To make money. Well, just learn about money. Skip the uni stuff. Study money. And we teach this to our staff. We teach this to you guys, even our staff.
Yeah.
Here's how you manage money. And the stuff I'm telling my audience is the same stuff I tell my staff. Get valuable, make money, and we give opportunities for people within our company to make a lot of money. So get valuable, make money, make more than you need, and then the extra, put it aside and invest it. And then build up slowly your passive income until your passive income succeeds your living expenses, which means you're financially free. And then at that point, work from a position of abundance, and you'll probably work harder than you ever thought you would. Because when you're working out of choice rather than out of having to do it, suddenly something awakens inside of you and you work from a mission purpose-driven sense, which is a beautiful thing, which is what I do.
And there's, I know back 10 years ago, you would have had a lot of different challenges than what you have today. So back then, for example, you might have had challenges like if you were juggling uni alongside your business and things like that. What do you think challenges you now? Because some people think, Samuel Leeds, you've got it all. You're so popular now on YouTube. Right. You've got your brand, you've got your business that's doing so well. Yeah. So what challenges do you face now?
Okay, so my challenges back then was I don't have enough money.
Yeah.
And I don't have money. I'm skint. I've invested everything into my education. I've invested every last penny and more into property. And actually right now, although I've got money tied up in property, I'm at the petrol station with my little car, with my card that has no money on it, which is declining, and I'm stranded, and it's raining, and I'm needing to phone my little sister and ask her if I can borrow 50 quid just to top my car up and get home. That's the kind of problems that I had back then. Working crazy hours, being told you won't do it, you won't succeed, it's risky, you're too young, it's a pipe dream by people that were close to me. Yeah. That was my problems then. Yeah. Now I have a whole host of different problems. Very, very different. But I have stronger problems, bigger problems. I think it's hard to say exactly, but I'd say probably right now, today, my biggest problem is training people to be as good as me, but in their own area. Yeah. So, training our training advisors to be able to speak to people and explain properly, and training our customer service team to respond to messages, and training I'm kind of like a trainer from within the company, and just finding the right people, just getting good people, and I think that's today a big challenge. But man, I have problems. Everyone has problems. Yeah,
they just change. Yeah. And is what do you want specifically your company? How do you want it to be different than other companies, like the traditional company? Is there anything you want?
Yeah, I want our company, the Freedom Formula, to not only bring people freedom, but also I want our whole company and our staff to be have freedom to work. So have freedom to be innovative. The team to be able to think outside the box, take risks. This is something I even say to you guys. I'm push the boundaries, take risks. I'd rather have to tell you, man, you messed up. What were you thinking doing that outrageous marketing stunt? I'd rather have to have that conversation than be like, guys, man, you're too vanilla. Yeah. So freedom to just be a bit crazy. Freedom to thinking outside the box. Freedom to, I think it's, for me, it's all about freedom. Teaching freedom, bringing freedom to people, and everywhere I go, having a bubble of freedom around me that spreads, So I think that's what I want to differentiate myself from other companies and people.
Yeah, it's so true. In the meeting the other day, we were talking about financial freedom, and we've all set up our 6 bank accounts.
Brilliant.
I know Nick did that the other day.
Awesome, love that.
And yeah, so it kind of I always think it trickles down from the CEO or the founder, the culture kind of trickles down, and everyone, it's kind of, what would you call it? Everyone just have it. You just absorb the energy. Yeah. And I think when people first come to this company, they're just kind of shocked at first because they just can't believe the energy. Today, Sarah had us running around the office with her daughter. It was just incredible.
Was her daughter here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Here this morning. Yeah.
That's so cool. No, you're right. I love the company. I love the people, and my best friends are definitely people that I work with.
how is it being friends with other people that are entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial? Because I know a lot of your friends are either like in the business or friends who have other businesses.
Yeah.
How do you kind of find those relationships?
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I get entrepreneurs. I get people that think business minded. I don't understand people. I can't be around people that are negative, that complain, that, how you doing today? Fine. Oh, feel good Friday. One step closer to the weekend. I don't get that. And I can't be around that. So people that are running businesses or people that are entrepreneurs within businesses, I think it's just great.
So I was going to say, is there any kind of misconceptions of entrepreneurship? Because a lot of people are finding, like when I talk to friends and stuff, everyone's like, I need to get out of my job. You know, I can have this laptop lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I know we kind of touched on it before, but I feel like it is becoming such a big trend. Like I think majority of my friends want to come out of their jobs.
Yeah.
If they ever had the money to.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one for me to even say, because some people will say, oh my gosh, it's too risky, don't do it, it's impossible. And I would say they're wrong. But then other people will have this fantasy that they can quit their job and then they can just set up some automated online system online and have passive income and then never work again, which is a fantasy. You know, so I think somewhere in the middle, there's the truth, which is that you can quit your job and you can be an entrepreneur and you can make full-time income, passive income, 100%. But if you want to be a doctor, you've got to get trained. Yeah. It's hard work. You've got to get the skills. You can't just go, you know what, I'm going to be a doctor and then start doing surgery tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll be in trouble. And in the same way, running a business or being an entrepreneur, it does take skill. It does take skill. So, and you can either do that by learning on the job, which could take 5 or 10 years, or get a mentor or attend the classes and the seminar. That's why we run training programs, because I think if you get the skills and put in the time, and are prepared to do whatever it takes, it's possible. But nothing comes without sacrifice. Yeah. And nothing comes without risk. So property investing is risky. But anything's risky. Crossing the street is risky. Yeah. Driving is risky. Putting money in the bank is risky, very risky. So it's about eliminating those risks as far as you can with education. And then making an informed decision.
Do you think you took big risks?
Massive risks, yeah. But then I didn't have anything to lose anyway. Yeah. Because I was just a kid.
Yeah. Did you sacrifice a lot?
I sacrificed a lot, yeah. Sacrificed friendships.
Yeah.
I didn't have a girlfriend. From the age of 16 to 22. I was single, you know. Yeah. And for someone who's really good looking, he keeps having girls.
I knew that was coming.
You knew that was no, but in all seriousness, you know, I was single. Yeah. I didn't have a social life particularly. I was just working. Yeah. So, and that's the reality. And I don't want like bang on about that. But that's just the reality of it. Yeah. And I was getting the education and the training, and I was getting and then people say, oh, you just got lucky. I didn't get lucky. I worked really hard. I got good training programs. I got good support network. I put myself in the right time at the right place. Yeah. And do you find, because I know you've had a few businesses, so do you find that even now you'll kind of have ideas for different businesses and things like that? And do you have to kind of keep your focus on your business? Or oh man, all the time, all the time. I have so many ideas. And the thing is, do
you write them down?
I don't write them down. I think the ideas, I might put them on my notes, but I tend to have them in my head. You know, it's a simple, I know a business idea is not complex. It's not like, oh my gosh, this is crazy complex. I could do this and this. Usually it's really simple. Yeah. So I have a lot of business ideas, but then at the same time, I think if you start a business, you have a responsibility to those staff, to those customers, to those, to then really follow through. Yeah. So I think it's almost like a marriage. Almost every time you set up a business, it's a commitment. So maybe not quite as serious as a marriage, but it's still a commitment. So I think sometimes knowing, and even as a philanthropist, someone, if you know, going out and deciding how you're going to best give, or being an entrepreneur, the hardest thing is sometimes who not to give to, what business ideas not to start. Yeah. Because you know, you can't do everything. Yeah. You can't do everything. You can't help everyone. You can't set up every business idea you have. But what you can do is you can definitely keep it noted. Yeah.
What's like the biggest hurdle you've faced, do you think?
In what?
In the past 5 years while you've been setting up the business?
Oh, the biggest.
Like, what is there anything that you've over the past 5 years, kind of you've got to that problem and you've not thought about stopping, but you've maybe, it's been something that's kind of been going around your head, you found hard to kind of overcome, whether that's even just like anything from like employing people and trying to find the right people, or...
I can't say over the last 5 years I've ever felt like quitting. I think maybe the word hurdle just didn't trigger with me. Because for me,
biggest problem.
But my whole life is firefighting. So I have hurdles, I guess you could say, every day. So the biggest one I wouldn't really be able to pinpoint. I wouldn't, because it's just, for me, it's just a case of, all right, that's my job, to overcome, to find solutions for problems. So the biggest problem, the biggest hurdle, the biggest challenge, I mean, I really don't know. Yeah,
because I can remember, if you don't mind me sharing.
Go on, no, it's fine.
Because I remember the picture that you shared on Instagram the other day of you in London. Because I can remember you saying you were at a really low point then, and you were thinking massive. Of throwing it in.
Yeah, that was massive. But I think, okay, maybe if we go back quite that far, I think that might have been just a bit more than 5 years. Maybe
10 years maybe.
I don't know how long exactly it was. Yeah, that was a really bad point in my life. In fact, I did feel like quitting that then. But yeah, that was a really, really, really bad point. I think it was a case of just, I mean, geez, you really put me on the spot. I had a relationship breakdown, and I was, I had money taken from me, and I had friends turn their back on me, and it was that was just after I finished Bible college, and it was just, that was before I even set up my training business, so I wasn't running property training. I had a Christian business network that I was starting up, but that was a really rough time.
Yeah. And can you remember what you kind of did to get yourself out of that mindset and get you back focusing on your business?
I think I just had to just keep going, despite how I felt. But I really, for a few months, I really didn't feel like it. And but I'd made it, people, I can't just stop. I've got property deals going through. I've got tenants. Yeah. I've got investors. I've got deals and stuff going on. I got commitments. So I can't. It's like, am I going to just stop and quit, or am I going to carry on really passionately and aggressively? Yeah, I'm not going to do neither. I'm just going to give it 20%. I'm just going to slowly dawdle along and do the bare minimum, whilst in my evenings and weekends wallowing in my own self-pity for 3 months. But I know that at some point I'll get out of it, but I'm not going to quit. So that was rough. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me of that. I was feeling really happy until then.
So would you say
friendships, people? Sorry, just to really say why that was just the biggest hurdle. Then I guess you could say, okay, you've coaxed it out of me. Here's the biggest hurdle: having people that you really feel are ride or die forever, and people, whether that be in business or even in my case, it was lots of people at that time, like a swarm. The people that were closest to me just suddenly turned their back on me, and I'm like, that, and that still happens. That still happens today. With some people that I'm like, I thought we were ride or die, man. Yeah. I thought we were like, I thought we had something really strong. I thought that, and it's just, that's hard.
Yeah. Do you find it hard, like having and making new friends as someone who's so successful? Like, so a lot of people want to be around Samuel Leeds, want to be coached by Samuel Leeds, and mentored. Do you kind of find like you don't know whether people's heads are in it for the right reason, or what are you kind of thoughts on that?
Yeah, because a lot of the time everything's business transactional. So people are like, oh man, let's do something. Oh, I'd love to take you for dinner, or and it's like, do you want something from me? Do you want to learn something, get something, pitch something? I think if I knew them from school, I know that they're good. If it's like, look, man, I grew up with this person, or if they're also successful or running businesses, doing similar things, they're probably good. But it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard knowing who's legit, who's genuine. My best friends, believe it or not, are my success students. Are people that I trained to be financially free. Now they're financially free and they just want to hang around.
Like we say, it's like a family, and it literally is.
Yeah, it's hard because when you say that, it's like a family. Well, what is a family, and what's like a family, and what's it? So it's you. Sometimes you have to be careful with language, but yeah, the people that I've trained who are successful, a lot of them are like family. You know, we hang out, and I know that their heart is good, and I've taken people out to trips in Africa, and we've done stuff. So, but some people are complex.
Yeah. I always love the story of how you and Amanda ended up together.
Yeah.
And how, like, you said, like, you knew that she was the one when you told her that you had loads of debt.
Yeah, because I didn't tell her about mine. Okay, because when I met Amanda, it was just after that really low point. And I had money taken from me, and I wasn't running any training, so wasn't doing YouTube videos. I wasn't known as like the property guru or anything like that. I had lots of properties, but I was living a reasonably humble lifestyle, living in like a 2-bed house. So yeah, when I met Amanda, we didn't have any mutual friends because we met at a wedding, and we just, as it happened, we didn't have any mutual friends. And I didn't tell her about my property business. We just got to know each other as people. So we just chat about life and feelings, and just we just spoke about absolutely everything apart from money and business, and we didn't speak about that. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. Then when I wanted to propose to her, before I proposed to her, I told her I've not been 100% honest with my finances. She was like, "What's up?" And I told her I've actually got £1 million worth of debt, which of course is true because my mortgages were £1 million, probably a lot more. And she was just like, "Okay, well, do you want me to see if I can get some overtime? What's the plan?" Like, totally owned it, was in it. No, not like, "Oh my gosh, wow, that's a big problem." Yeah. And then I just realized how unmaterialistic she was, and how unbothered about money and success and finance. And of course, success is important to me, but I think that just showed me that it was just about us. It wasn't about what I've got. It was just about me and her. And then I told her the flip side, which is actually I have got £1 million worth of debt, but I've also got a lot of equity, and we've got really good cash flow. And
actually,
and she, you know what, she was just like, she said, "That's good then." I was like, yep, it is good. And then I proposed, and then we got married within months and lived happily ever after.
Oh, such a nice story.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice for people because I always see people comment, how do you, get around successful people? How do you get around people with good mindsets, good intentions? Do you have any advice for anyone?
Do it yourself. Do it yourself. If you want a really fit girlfriend that works at the gym and has got a 6-pack and is clean and positive, if that's the kind of girlfriend you want, don't be an idiot and write down, "This is the person that I want. I'm going to go and find that person." Write down the person that you want to become.
Yeah.
So write down your own list. This is who I want to become. I want to be ripped. I want to be positive. I want to be all the things that you want to become. And then what will happen is then you'll attract that person. You'll attract those people. So if you want to hang around people that are successful, you need to become successful. If you want to hang around people that are action takers and go-getters and high energy, you've got to be an action taker and high energy. And then it will happen.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to want to hang around with you if you're a fat loser who won't take risks and who has got no energy. No one who's got energy and takes risks and loves their life, no, they're not going to want to hang around with you. Why would they?
Yeah.
Because bad company corrupts good character. They'll see your bad company and they'll run a mile. Yeah. So just be the kind of person you want to be around. And the reason I get to hang around with really successful people and have dinners with amazing, celebrities and have people on my YouTube channel who are just killing it and have fun and get invites to all these parties with great people, which I do get, is because that's who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm better than anyone or anyone's better than anyone, but it's not about who's better or worse as a person, who's got a high value as a human being. It's just about like attracts like. So if you want a particular kind of person to hang around, if you want to hang around people who are wealthy or successful or positive, then just be that yourself and it will happen. And make an effort. Make an effort for it to happen. Yeah. Attend the network groups they're at. Go to the kind of places.
Stalk them.
Maybe.
Is there anyone you really would love to meet at the minute? Or would love to get mentored by?
Oh, man. Who would I love to meet at the minute? I'd love to spend some time with Tony Robbins. I've seen him speak on stage. I've never met him. I think he's a super cool guy, and I think I could learn a lot from him.
Yeah. Have you watched his documentary?
Yes.
On Netflix?
Yes.
So good.
I think he's great. He's a great guy. And he's one of the few people that are really, doing really well, and also coaches and teachers that are like that in that niche who I haven't spent time with. So Tony, man, if you can hear this, I'm coming for you, bro.
Yeah, we'll send it over to him now.
Do it.
But yeah, thank you for talking to me today and telling us about entrepreneurship. And thank you all for listening as well. And we'll be back next week with another episode.